Today, I'm making the hardest world in Mario stupidly hard. Each special world level has new rules. Mario can't take damage, I can't use online help, and each level has a tough custom challenge. The first level in the special world is Bounce, 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 except we won't be doing any of that. Mario is supposed to use these hoppos as moving trampolines to boing his way to the Wonder Seed, but instead we can't touch a single hoppo. I try a bunch of different badges to see what would help me complete this challenge until I land on the glorious perfect choice, the midair spin. After Mario jumps, this badge gives him a second jump to gain extra height or extra distance. Things start off great. I'm dodging the pudgy hippos and spinning my way through the course when suddenly I hit a spot that derails my progress. No matter what I try, Mario falls onto the spikes and takes damage, which is forbidden. I have an emergency lifeline I can use once in the entire Impossible World challenge, but I don't want to waste it on the first level. Suddenly, it hit me, the drill mushroom power-up. Devouring this metal shroom lets Mario burrow into the ground or ceiling and pop out when he's ready. I gather one from a different level and store it in my extra item slot. Now, when I get to the tricky spot, I use Mario's pointy head to dig into the ceiling and burrow my way across. I drop down and plant that Wonder Seed inside Mario's stomach. I give this level a difficulty score of Chubby Hippo out of 5. I got lucky on that first course, but the next level is Climb to the Beat. This level forces Mario to move in sync with the music. Platforms appear and disappear as poison rises. To beat this challenge, Mario has to use the Spring Feet badge, which makes him jump constantly, and he can't use any air spins. I'm able to time Mario's jumps to skip some platforms before the poison can reach me. Then it gets tougher. I have to be in the perfect position for each jump in order to make it to the next jump. Air twirls can usually help correct little mistakes, but even if I do it on accident, I will fail the challenge. Once I get to the second half of the level, we come up against these really small blocks. I've never hated a tiny square more in my life. Mario has to jump perfectly to hit the side, wall jump up, and then do it again immediately on the next box. I have to make sure that I'm as far ahead of the musical beat as possible so the platforms appear right as I touch them. If Mario's even a little bit slow, the poison catches up and he becomes one with the grape jelly. Once I get momentum and execute every jump perfectly, I make it to the final section. I stay ahead of the music beat and wall jump as fast as I can. Mario barely gets all the way to the top and grabs that Wonder Seed. I give this level a difficulty score of Rage-Inducing Block out of 5. Let's shift from poison anxiety to spike ball anxiety next. In the Shining Falls special, Triple Threat Deluge, 3 Lakitus share a cloud that follows Mario. They throw an endless supply of giant spike balls while he runs for his life. In our challenge, things get extra spicy because we can't touch blocks and pipes, and we can't press down. I carefully move through the first section, jumping off of enemies to not touch pipes or blocks. Then I get to the real test. The Wonder Flower throws Mario onto the back wall, and he now moves with a top-down perspective. I can't press down, so that means I can only move Mario up, left, and right. I look around and think of how I can do this, and find these pinball-type bouncy things. I experiment with running Mario upward into them, which bounces him lower on the screen without having to press down. After a lot of trial and error, I start to get the hang of things. I memorize the layout of the level because if I'm not low enough when entering certain sections, I get stuck on invisible walls and have to restart. I make great progress until I come up against my greatest nemesis, Freddy the Firebar. This sly little scorcher burns Mario and burns my will to continue. I need a way to get through it and still be low enough to move past this invisible wall. I try different badges to see if anything can help me. I equip the dash badge hoping it will make me fast enough to go underneath the firebar, but it has no effect. I also try the jet run badge, but none of these badges work when the Wonder Flower is active. After 45 minutes of trying, I decide to use my only emergency lifeline for the Impossible World Challenge. I'm allowed to take damage only once in the entire video, and even though it might make every other level after this potentially unbeatable, I know I need it here. I equip the Auto Mushroom badge so Mario has an extra hit when he gets to Freddy the Firebar. I complete the whole level up to Freddy and make Mario take damage to pass through. Then, after a bit of patience, I dodge these crushing cubes and make it to the plump Wonder Seed. By the way, whoever's the first person to complete this challenge without taking damage and sends me a video proving it, I will award you a prize. I give this level a difficulty score of Freddy out of 5. Speaking of heat, let's head to the desert next. For the Sun-Baked Desert Special Course, Mario ascends through the level while crazy poles and balloon enemies help him toward the top. Except, our version's gonna be nothing like that. I'm attempting a crazy challenge from fellow YouTuber Luigi Bros Gaming. In this one, Mario skips grabbing the Wonder Flower and plays through the level with almost no ground to stand on. I have to use very precise techniques with the Bubble Flower power-up. Mario makes bubbles to bounce on, and then uses the Safety Bounce badge to keep from dying in the pit below. I'm thinking, if Luigi Bros Gaming can do it, why not me? That was my big mistake. I get to work using the Bubble Flower and Safety Bounce to continually keep Mario alive. I figure out the right timing to shoot the bubble out to move forward. I learn that if the bubble's too high, Mario can't jump high enough to get on top of it, but if it's too low, it'll disappear from the screen. After more practice, I'm able to get through the first area and move on to the second area with lots of bloops. I jump off and bonk Mario's head to activate a pole block. Holding this pole buys me time while I dread what's to come next. This section is ridiculous. There's no ground at all, Mario has to bubble and safety bounce perfectly, and there's a fast auto-scroll moving upward. If I don't put Mario's bubbles up high enough, they disappear off screen and Mario falls to his doom. To make things even worse, bloops come from either side of the screen to slam into Mario and launch him to his death. I practiced this section for hours and decide there's no way I can beat it just yet. I'm going to take on the other courses and come back to complete this insane challenge later. I brush myself off from my failure to prepare for another brutal challenge. In the Donut Ride special level, Mario descends on donut blocks to progress through the course. He then free falls in a wonder section where poison walls and orbs attack him. To make this more excruciating, I'm also not allowed to touch enemies or coins. At the beginning of the level, I encounter Marshall the Mushroomba. He seems easy enough to dodge at first, but when I activate the donut block, he's there waiting. I learned to wait for a very long time to let Marshall wander all the way home before starting our descent. To avoid the coins, I move Mario to the extreme edge of the donut block until he starts wobbling. It's super tricky to stay right between the spike traps and run at the perfect moment to avoid these tasty coins. I jump perfectly between Marcia and the big purple coin to retain Mario's social distancing. I need to avoid the shocky guys and the center of each platform to keep Mario on his no-coin diet. I grab the Wonder Flower, but instantly eat a coin when the effect starts, so I have to completely reset. I try again and am able to fly to the left to avoid the coins. I dodge swiftly left and right while avoiding the poison walls when all of a sudden, bamboo boys drop on my head out of nowhere. Even when I dodge the first set, another stack gets me. Some troll at Nintendo is laughing right now. I start using the up and down controls, which I honestly had no reason to use before. Now I can always avoid Nintendo's troll enemies while not eating coins. The final trial of this level is this tight section with 1 billion coin fragments. Getting through this part takes me longer than the entire rest of the level combined. I practice going on the left side of the stack so I can stabilize my position a little bit more. I move back and forth with tiny motions to stay coinless and grab that sweet, sweet seed. I give this level a difficulty score of Marshall out of 5. We interrupt this program to bring you a special announcement. Do you love Arrowstotle content? Do you wish you could have more? Well, now you can get exclusive perks as a channel member. I asked you what extra content you wanted, and now channel members will get early access to videos before everyone else, member-only live streams including playing games with viewers, member-only videos about things you wouldn't normally see on this channel, and behind-the-scenes content including what I'm working on, thumbnails, teasers, and ideas. To go even further, as a Super Supporter Deluxe, you also get your name at the end of the credits of every video and a chance to hop on a monthly voice call with me. Thank you all for helping me be a full-time content creator. If you're not able to become a member, it's completely fine. I will still put 100% into every video. Now let's see if I can complete this impossible world challenge. Mario moves on to the Deep Magma Bog special course. The Solar Roller level turns Mario into a spiky bowling ball. He rolls through obstacles and hits timer blocks to keep the ground from disappearing. Because I want to suffer, this challenge forces me to collect every coin and remap my controls. I swap what each hand does to make things way harder. My right hand has to control the joystick, and my left hand has to use the minus and screenshot buttons to get speed and jump. To really infuriate me, I also make it so that if I forget the new controls, the B and Y buttons take screenshots. Even the beginning section frustrates me as I try to grab all 4 coins. I'm capturing so many pictures to remember how much fun this challenge is. For some reason, trying to control with the right joystick was really counterintuitive, and I kept falling into the molten cherry juice. I definitely sympathize with beginner players. It's really annoying to know what I want the character to do, but not to be able to do it. I figure out that I don't need to worry about speed the whole way through. Even though I only have a certain amount of time to hit the blocks, I can backtrack to certain ones if I feel like I need to reset. I get faster with Bowling Ball Mario, and I get closer to the end. I fly through certain sections and take my time to grab the big coins. I memorize how the dragons move, and I'm able to roll and jump right before the blocks disappear. I screenshot a million times in celebration and gobble all the coins to complete this course. I give this level a difficulty score of Precious Memories out of 5. We move on to the Petal Isle's Way of the Goomba course. Mario turns into a grumpy mushroom man who has poor movement and jumps. He waddles his little fungus body through a deadly obstacle course. For this challenge, I can't use badges and I can't look left. The beginning of the level needs some careful timing as I jump on the Goomba to get over the pipe. Once we activate the Wonder Flower and Goombafy Mario, things get way trickier. I have to time everything perfectly to not get squished by thwomps or to backtrack. I get them to crash down, then quickly run through the first area. This bouncy section is ruthless. The level's designed to have Mario go left to gain enough height to move on, but I need to find another way. I mess around to see how much momentum Goomba Man gets before he can stop moving forward. I find the sweet spot to get him right on the very edge of the platform. When I do this perfectly, the hitboxes of the platforms overlap just enough that Goombario can bounce up to the top without backtracking. The next part is just as tough. These bouncy platforms on tracks are moving targets for Goomba Man. I have to make sure I start my jump right when the platforms are in the perfect spot, or they won't catch Mario when he shows up. After a lot of trial and error, Mario's momentum gets him across while only looking right. For this spiky ball section, Mustache Goomba hides behind the tree and runs at the perfect time. As long as he keeps sprinting with his floppy feet and he doesn't hesitate, he barely makes it across without getting crushed. The bubble birds give nice bouncy poppers for Goomba Man to pop his way across and grab the victory seed. I give this level a difficulty score of Beautiful Mushroom out of 5. The semi-final test special course is next, and things are about to get weird. Even weirder than usual. Mario runs through this auto-scroll course while deadly plants sing and dance, but we're going to complete this whole level without pressing the right button. Yes, you heard that correctly. I can't press the one button that moves Mario in the direction we need to go. So how do I do this? Well, fellow YouTuber Ansel G made a video where he beat Mario Wonder from the intro through Bowser without pressing right. I ask his advice and jump into the challenge. First, I activate a second player. By using Yoshi as my player 2, Mario can ride on his back and backflip off at the peak of the jump. With Mario's momentum, I twirl to get a little bit of forward movement without pressing right. After each time, I then turn Yoshi into a ghost and let the timer expire so he respawns on top of Mario. The big obstacle in the first area is this giant piranha plant that runs right into Mario. I need a way to fight back, so I get a fire flower from a different level. I'm able to jump over the piranha plant with my Yoshi momentum and then melt him with sweet, sweet destruction. Yoshi and Mario do the tedious dance until Mario can wall jump off the pipe and touch the Wonder Flower. Now the real fun begins. The flower suddenly pushes the level to the right without me pressing anything, and the dynamic duo jump for their lives. Even though Yoshi's immune to enemies, Mario will take damage from anything. So my strategy is to use Yoshi as a shield and keep Mario damage free. If I mess up any jump, Mario gets knocked off of Yoshi's back and is vulnerable to attacks. I keep my hand on both controllers and jump as Yoshi. If Mario gets into a jam, I focus on getting off of Yoshi's back until it's safe again. I learned that Mario can't get back on Yoshi when they're on the bouncy platforms, making this section extra dangerous. The mad dash toward the end is crazy. Mario keeps falling off of Yoshi, and I thought we were done for. Luckily, Yoshi keeps moving and I get Mario to get back on his back without taking damage. Once we get to the very end, I repeat the same tedious process as the beginning of the level to get Mario all the way to the Wonder Seed without pressing right. I give this level a difficulty score of Ghost Chi out of 5. Time for the final test. The Wonder Gauntlet has a bunch of different wonder effects throughout one level that keep Mario on his toes. Our version makes it so Mario must defeat every killable enemy to win. The bubble power-up badge seems like a great choice, as it can help me defeat enemies safely from a distance. The very first section has so many bird enemies and so little time to defeat them as our pipe steed wiggles forward. I try for over 20 minutes to defeat them with our bubble power-up, but I keep failing. I even tried spin jumping to launch 2 bubbles forward and back at the same time, but it didn't work the way that I wanted it to. I try some other power-ups to see if they'll work any better. I equipped the drill mushroom badge to transform into Drill Mario. Now I'm able to jump underneath the birds to destroy any above Mario while bouncing on the ones that are underneath. As I continue, Mario encounters a lot of enemies that can't be defeated. I need to avoid a Nosher Swarm and the giant Hoppy Cats. I approach the Anglefish who spawn infinitely. Instead of killing them over and over, I defeat one on each side to count towards the challenge and proceed. I get to the Sproing section and use the drill power-up to trick them into getting small. I pop up to attack from below and jump on their heads to defeat them all. The Sugar Stars make life difficult for me. These can't be defeated, but for some reason I always seem to take damage. I eventually get smarter and use the drill power-up to burrow into the moving platform to stay safe. Now, I need good timing to get across the missile mags and then go to the coolest part of the whole level, the giant cannon boat. I dodge the lightning and make sure to spam the cannon as much as possible to destroy every spike enemy. I use the drill power-up again to go underneath these Hoppos and then bounce on this giant Hoppo to move forward. I kick a Koopa shell to make sure it destroys these roller skating Koopas, and I almost die to the rift. I grab a superstar for invincibility power. I plow through every remaining enemy in style and get to the end without taking any damage. This victory seed tastes sweet. I give this level a difficulty score of Death Star out of 5. But wait, something's wrong. One level still haunts me. I'm feeling confident and come back to the Sun-Baked Desert Special level. I speed through the first 2 sections and come up to my nightmare. I test out a new strategy to always launch out 2 bubbles, one a bit higher and one a bit lower. Now if I miss the top bubble, I have a second one as a safety net. This technique helps me get most of the way up, but still, the auto scroll gets too fast and Mario dies. I practice for literal days and try to get to the very top, but every time I get close, something like a bloop will slap me or I fall into the void below. I feel extremely frustrated and defeated and almost give up completely. I think about trying to find an easier challenge for this video so I can actually complete it, but you guys know me, that wouldn't be good enough. I have to beat this challenge. It's truly worthy of this video. I study the video from Luigi Bros Gaming. I must have given him over 50 views on that one video to find the secret I've been missing. I changed my strategy in the one specific part I can't pass. The auto scroll gets too fast for the bubbles to stay on screen, so I need to start launching them after I safety bounce. Early practice is unsuccessful, but I keep trying, determined to finish this almost impossible challenge. After several days of trying and failing, I finally get to the top and beat the course. Mario is ready for the final test. To see the last challenge, click on the video on screen right now. I'm Arrowstotle, and thanks for watching.